Sweden going to the polls on Sunday. The latest projections do show that a right-wing party could actually become kingmaker because the Sweden Democrats' popularity has soared on the back of anti-migrant rhetoric, pinning the blame for recent spike in crime on newcomers to the country. But while experts do say other factors explain the crime wave, many Swedes have been won over by the Democrats. RT's Maria von Oschner visited some of the areas hardest hit by anti-migrant sentiment.
Over 50 hand grenades were detonated in Sweden.
Crime in the country has skyrocketed.
A spike in shootings this year already.
Violent crime has moved right up the list of issues Swedish parties are pledging to tackle ahead of the general election. We went to two cities making some of the worst criminal headlines.
Malmö in southern Sweden has been seen to many violent attacks. Earlier this summer, there was a drive-by shooting here across the cyber cafe. You can still see the marks from the bullets. 3 people have been then killed and 3 others seriously injured. Interesting that police station is just a block away from here.
People who were the victims were targeted because of who they are. We know that they are heavily involved in criminal activities. This is usually something to do with narcotics and different types of heavy crime.
The probe continues and police can't give many details, but when such incidents happen in vulnerable areas like this, the question on everyone's mind seems...
Are they from Sweden or...?
Yes.
So they are not those immigrants that people tend to blame all the criminality rate for?
Well, no, it's hard to say. That it's a lot of people here in Malmö are second or third generation immigrants. In our statistics, we don't take in ethnicity as well. You can say that at least 90% of the people who are suspects and are victims in these types of crimes are young men, young male. And they're usually from families that may not be highly educated. They come from usually rather poor circumstances as well.
Arson and riots dominated the summer's news in Gothenburg. Divisions there are also high and very visible. A 50-minute tram trip just from one part of the city to another exposes both the top of the social pyramid and the bottom. Studies almost always show crime rate is linked to welfare, one professor admits. We ask what many want to know. Are immigrants responsible?
You can present it in different ways. You can present it that it's a migrant problem. You can present it also like it's a socioeconomic problem. You can present it even that it's a youth problem. I mean, you choose. In that way of choosing, also there is a political manifestation. And that's a way of marginalizing, stereotypizing. It's an old way of saying that people that are not from Europe are more primitive. So, I mean, all this come into the politics.
Professor is referring to the Sweden Democrats, the right-wing party tipped for its best result in years.
It's the immigrants who burn cars, who rape, steals, murders, who cause a huge amount of money that affects all other areas in the Swedish society. That's the real problem.
Stina Holmberg works at the National Crime Prevention Council, whose job is to make sure crime policy is knowledge-based. Politicians and media use their data to show immigrants are to blame, but Stina warns they are often taken out of context.
Most of the overrepresentation by immigrants disappears if you add the fact that they are socially deprived.
We have reports from 1996-2005 that established that people from Middle East and Africa are grossly overrepresented when it comes to violent crimes, for instance.
Yes, those gang shootings, it's a lot of second-generation young men. But if you see theft and assault and these kinds of crimes, we don't see an increase.
Just recently, an investigative program on actually Swedish television also confirmed immigrants and rapes, for instance.
It might be easier to report a perpetrator who is an immigrant or in other way is socially deprived too.
You can try all this integration stuff that I've been trying for 30, 40 years, and it's totally useless. The only real thing to solve the problems is to make them move back.
It has become a strong political issue, and there is a new political arena in Sweden with the right-wing parties.
We've been attacked by left-wingers and immigrants in this election campaign. I mean, I see so many reports on it. And if there's going to be increased turbulence after we win on 9th of September, that's on them, not us.
Just days ahead of the vote, polls say the Sweden Democrats are closing in fast on the ruling Social Democrats. Whether they are right or wrong, the anti-immigrant party is convincing people that the security situation is critical. Immigrants are to blame and they have the answer. On Sunday, voters may just give them a chance to show it. Marie van Oshna, RT, Sweden.